We have had such a great time with all our speakers and everyone coming on. And we have our next speaker here. I met her, it's been a few years now. It's Kathi Burns, and she's a board certified professional organizer and best selling author. She is known for simplifying the complex. She's been featured on Good Morning America. She's helped countless people reclaim their time and space. And today she's here to show us how to navigate our busy schedules with clarity and purpose. Let's welcome Kathi Burns to the stage. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
Oh,
There
good.
you
We can hear you
me?
now. Yep.
And can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. It's so much a pleasure to be here. And today I'm going to talk about how to make your schedule align with your purpose and how to plan your day so that it doesn't plan you. That's always the ideal, right? We start the day at the beginning with a clear bathtub full of bubbles, and then things happen. And so I want to give you some tools so that you can actually move forward with your day, get stuff done, and actually take control of what you're doing. And today I want to help you learn how to quiet the noise, trust your intuition, and get going. So, every time we start a day, every day's different, right? We think that we're going to be really clear. We think we're going to know what we're doing, and then things happen. And what I love about my work is that each and every one of you is different, and that you all have different ways to navigate what things happen to your life. And so I'm going to give you some tools basically that you can go ahead and do some stuff. So today I want to talk about your morning routine and creating one that works for you. Type in chat if you have a morning routine that works for you now, that you kind of know what's going on. Oh, hold on, I lost chat for some reason. Wait 1 sec. There we go. Let me take a peek. Yeah, okay, ish. I'm with you on that. And, creating a routine that works for you is your own vested thing, right? It's your sacred time. And we are talking about being on purpose here. So, I want to encourage you that whatever works for you is what works for you. And managing your time is actually the exact same thing, like knowing what's going to work for you, what's not going to work for you, and how to navigate through when things happen. Because guess what? Things always happen in our day, don't you know? Yeah, absolutely. I'm having a little bit of time with my slide deck. Apologize for that. Some of you might know me, some of you might not. I know Lori and I go back a little bit ways, but I'd like to share just a little bit, why am I here even talking about this? Well, a long time ago, long time ago, I was a licensed boat captain, and I was delivering yachts, and I was living out a duffel bag. And I remember being in the middle of the Gulf Stream and thinking about everything back in my life, and none of it really meant anything. So I'd get home and I purge. A few years later, I turned into a travel writer. I was living out of a suitcase 42 weeks a year. Again, I'd go home and purge. So I think way back then, that was the beginning of my career as a professional organizer. I didn't even know what a pro organizer was at that point in time. Well, flash forward a few years, I landed in San Diego. I was trying to figure out what should I do when I grow up. And I met a woman, and she was on a healing journey. And I actually was on a journey to rediscover myself. And I helped her. I went to her house and she was ill, and I started helping her downsize and I said, girlfriend, you can be surrounded by all this stuff and thrive. So I helped her downsize, and she goes, oh, you should be a professional organizer. I'm like, what the heck was that? So here I am 20 years later, doing what I love, helping people shift through change and helping people really kind of let go. At the very beginning of my career, I was really blessed to be featured by Good Morning America as a successful woman startup business. That was a huge thing for me and such a blessing. And ever since then, I've been with media and magazines and all that. And I'm not really saying that to brag, but to let you know, if you're like me, you kind of want to take the advice from someone who's been there, done that, and knows what they're talking about. So that's really enough about me. What a testimonial, this testimony came from a client who truly embodies the transformation that I'm talking about today. Is like many entrepreneurs, she knew she needed to get organized, but what she experienced went far beyond her expectations. She shared that, you need tools, you need the things and strategies so that you can actually move forward and do what you want to do in the world. And that's what happened with her. Now, your morning ritual. Okay. So the question is, and I know Shannon, you said your routine works most days. And I think that that's so true for most of us. Like some days we're spot on and some days we're not. But the question always for me when I wake up is, am I going to be intentional or are things just going to happen? And I try to define my vision. I remember Wayne Dyer, I'll never forget what he says when he would wake up in the morning and put his feet literally on the floor, getting out of bed, he would say, "Thank you for this day." And I think about that all the time. And I really want to, I know we all strive for doing things like that. That's something that's always in my mind. And I try when I put my feet down to say, thank you. I'm glad I'm here today. Right. So you also want to define your vision. Like what's your vision for the day? Do you know what's going to happen before you put your feet on the floor? Do you know what's going to happen throughout the day? Or do you wake up and kind of go into reaction mode? That's always the question that I have at the top of my day. And I'm sure that you do too. And I know because this is soul-led business, I know that we are all trying to be intentional and trying to lead from our essence, right? And in order to do that, we have to kind of be prepped before the day begins. So I'm going to give you some tools to do that. So I'd like you to consider your morning rituals from a new perspective. Like, what have you been doing for years automatically? Now, I admit I set my coffee pot to brew at 7:15. I wake up, the coffee's there. That's something that I do for sure. And and then my honey and I take trips. Like whoever wakes up first is the person who gets the coffee, and that's something that I do. But from a new perspective, is there something you can also incorporate? Like if you go with that coffee, and as a pro organizer, I don't know if you've ever worked with anybody, we like to what we call anchor our strategy. So my anchor that I can use for my coffee pot in the morning is to also get out and do, the tapping, like wake up my body. That's something that that tactic I can anchor onto my coffee, which is already a habit. So have any of you tried to add habits to habits that you already have and do the anchoring technique? Because it really, really works. So if you want to start something new, anchor it with something you already do. And the top of the day is the ultimate time to do that. That's for darn sure. Here's the thing about time. Time is the one thing that's finite. It's the one thing we cannot get back, right? When it's gone, it's gone. And so people say, I don't have enough time. Well, guess what? We all have the same amount of time. It's just a matter of what we're going to do with it, right? And the most precious hours of your day are the very beginning. And when you get caught up, after that, right, we get caught up in obligations, we get caught up in appointments and phone time and all the stuff that happens as a business person. But your time at the top of the day is your precious time. And that is the time to align with your soul's purpose for what you're actually doing. Did someone say squirrel? For those of you who have a little bit of ADD like me, multitasking is the thing. And here's the thing that I don't know if you know, but squirrels lose 42% of the nuts that they bury. And when I work with entrepreneurs like myself, I feel the same exact way. Like I'm jumping from branch to branch. If I don't really, I haven't started the day centered, I'm jumping, I'm chasing a squirrel here, I'm chasing a squirrel there. And what happens with us, you lose your nuts. And here's the thing. you don't really lose your nuts, but you lose your momentum and you lose your focus of where you're going. And so as a pro organizer, I help people find their nuts, gather their nuts, organize their nuts so they don't go nuts. But multitasking is what squirrels do. And I don't know if you've ever found, I used to have a squirrel that lived outside my deck window, and I would watch her bury her nuts in my pot, and then I would watch her go back to the same pot, not being able to find the nut that she buried. And entrepreneurs, this is what we do, right? We start a project, and then, oh, we start another project, and then, oh, we start another project. And then we don't even know what project was finished, what project wasn't finished, what project's even working for us in the background of our business, right? And so you'll hear me talking about squirrels all the time because I love them, I appreciate them, and I'm now a reformed squirrel teacher. Hopefully you guys get what I'm talking about. Has anybody out here ever chased squirrels and then at the end of the day going, what the heck going? Like, what happened? Anybody? Am I the only one? Come on, I know. Well, I'm going to use some methods and strategies right now. Yeah, I know, Shannon, me too. It's what happens. So, what I want to do is give you 3 ways that, and you choose your method, right? So there's no one way for everyone that's going to work. And so I'm going to give you 3 tried and true methods that I know work. Choose one, choose it wisely, and just try it. Okay. So the first one is called the Eisenhower matrix. And has anybody heard of this? Has anybody done this? Well, the Eisenhower matrix actually goes back to Dwight D. Eisenhower. And he said this. He said, I have 2 kinds of problems. I have the urgent and the important. And what's very interesting to me, the urgent are usually the ones that aren't important, and the important ones are never urgent. This is profound, right? Because the urgent ones come right into our life and we're like, oh my God, gotta react. But they're not the ones that move the ball generally in our business. They're not the ones that move the ball. The ones that move the ball are silently sitting there like the book that you want to finish or the talk that you want to do, right? All this stuff that's not really beating at your door, but this is the stuff that's really going to give you the momentum to move forward. So here's what you're going to do with the metric. Okay. You're going to be able to prioritize effectively and focus your time on energy that what matters by thinking about what's going to move the needle on your long-term goals, right? What's going to move that needle? A practical way is to give yourself the quadrants of the blocks, right? So the important ones are ones that you're going to do and the ones that you're going to schedule. The non-important ones are the ones you're going to delete and, most importantly, delegate. When I work with entrepreneurs, I find oftentimes I did this 20 years ago when I started my business. I was trying to do everything, right? And I thought, I don't have enough money to delegate. I can't delegate. I don't know how to delegate. And I was doing everything. I was in a seminar yesterday and someone was saying, what would you have changed at the beginning of your career? For me, it would have been delegate. Stop trying to do everything on my own. Because the non-important stuff, the stuff that's below your pay grade, is the stuff that you shouldn't be doing anyhow, right? And the important stuff, the stuff that's going to move the needle on your business, is your soul's purpose. That's the stuff that is so important to you that's going to move the needle on your business. So think about all of your tasks and try to put them into the 4 quadrants. Should I do it? Should I schedule it? Should I delegate it, or should I just plain delete it, right? So if you can take your task list and put it into the 4 quadrants, I think that it's going to give you perspective on what's important and what's not. And you're going to be able to do the things that you need to do to move the needle on your business, to make the more money, to get the clients, to feel like you're on purpose, right? If you are spending the day feeling like you're not on purpose, I guarantee you're down in the non-important stuff. So that's one method, okay? So that's one thing you can try. The next method is time blocking. Has anybody here tried time blocking? A lot of people know that more than the Eisenhower method. Type in check if you've ever time blocked, or if your calendar right now is time blocked. Anybody? Yeah, listen, I know, because you get stuff done, girl. Yeah, time blocking. So here's a quick lesson in time blocking. So time blocking is a scheduling format that helps you boost productivity by blocking different types of tasks into different segments of time. We talked about the top of the day. Top of the day is the perfect way, the perfect time. Set your intention, do your morning routine, and then do the most important stuff, right? So, top of the day is brilliant for doing your really hard stuff. Abe Lincoln, I think Mark Twain said it. If I have to, the most important time to eat a frog is at the top of the day, something like that, right? So if you're going to do your big daddy task, you're going to do it when you're fresh at the top of your day before you get sidetracked and start chasing squirrels, right? So blocking time into specific chunks of time will help you a lot. As a professional organizer, I talk about this all the time because when you switch task, every time you switch task, you lose about 17 minutes. So I'm always, always constantly thinking to myself and telling my clients, I want to do this chunk of task during this specific time. And then I'm moving on to the next chunk of task and the next chunk of task. You want to do like with like. If you've ever worked with a pro organizer, we're talking about that all the time. Put like with like, right? So if you're going to make all your calls, do them all at once. If you're going to check your inbox, do it all at once. If you're going to do that big task, the big project, stay focused on that. And the biggest thing I can talk to you about time blocking is if you have that project that's always been elusive, you can't get the book written, you can't get the talk done, give yourself a 4-hour block of time to really, really focus on that one project. And if it's something like a book, give yourself 4 hours every single week, same time, same bat channel. So take, for instance, Wednesday, noon to 4, book time. Now, it takes a long time for us to create habits, right? So what I encourage you to do is to have it at the same time and the same block of time every single week for that big project. Wednesdays is kind of like a magical day that I found working with clients for this long. And know that this is your sacred time to do your big purpose in your business, which could be the book, which could be creating the product, which could be whatever it is, right? Whatever is going to move the needle. I always say, move that needle on your business. It's always the thing that's elusive, that's hard to get to. But if you set aside that sacred time just for yourself to do it, think about this. In an average month, you'll spend 16 hours on that project. If you're in a bonus month, 20. You'll get 20 hours dedicated to that big project. Do you think that you're going to be able to get your project done if you do that? Yeah. This is the gift to yourself. That's why I love time blocking so much. It's a gift to yourself to actually get the stuff done that's super important to you. So instead of keeping an open-ended list of things to get to as soon as you can, right, you're going to start each day with a concrete outlining of what you're going to work on and when, right? Most people choose random times of the day to do different things. And what you want to do is instead get appointments inserted when you want them to be inserted. And I found out a long, long time ago when I had a publishing agency that the most important thing, the most professional thing I could ever do is learn how to say no. So if a client wants to come into your schedule, if you have that time blocked for when you meet clients, you're going to be more focused, more productive, and better able to help them by saying, I'm sorry, I can't meet you Wednesday at 1. This is when I'm on my big project, but how about Wednesday at 11? Does that work for you? Or how about some other time, right? So are you understanding how you can kind of control your time? And if you have the time blocked where you know you're going to be doing specific things at specific times, it's going to do 2 things. It's going to, number one, make you more professional and make you more on top of your game and keep track of your big projects and help you be able to live your purpose as opposed to being in reaction mode, right? A lot of entrepreneurs, we end up reacting And when we're reacting, we're not being proactive. And it doesn't help us and it doesn't help our clients, right? So try to schedule appointments based on your open times in your calendar that you've already predisposed. And this comes through actually blocking your calendar and blocking the times and working in a time blocking time of technique. Does this make sense to you? Have any of you experimented with doing this? Like, I'm going to make calls at this time. I'm going to do project at this time. I'm going to meet with people at this time. Has that worked with anybody? Do you have hey, put in chat, I'd really love to hear this. Do you have a specific day that you only work on your big project? Anybody have that? If you don't, go Shannon, and I know that you've got a bunch of stuff. I know you've gotten a bunch of stuff done. Yeah. So if you have that time set aside for yourself, that sacred time, you're going to get more done and you're going to be professional. And quite honestly, you're going to look way more professional. Yeah, Lori, I love mornings to do that as well, for sure. So when you block your time for specific app, and you see this schedule right here, right? Create the client proposal. That'd be you, Lori, right? Or early in the morning, first thing, right? Do that client proposal, do the emails, come back around, right? So this is an idea of a great time blocking technique that, and then you see the end of the day, prep for tomorrow, hugely important. Make sure that you have enough time at the end of each day to prep for the next day. That's where a lot of people fall off. And quite honestly, at the end of the day, we're exhausted. We're going, oh my God, I don't know if I can get this done. I got to finish the project. And then you don't prep for the next day because you work into the hours and by then you're exhausted and you've not prepped for the next day. So then the next day you wake up and you're like, what was I supposed to do? Don't know. Yeah, I love that. Morning and meditation. Yep, me too. Yep, reading, huge. Yeah. Okay. So the Pomodoro technique, you probably have all heard of this, but I don't know if you've ever implemented it. This is for whenever you're starting to feel really overwhelmed. And this is really good for people also that tend to procrastinate or struggle with concentrating, right? Or having trouble meeting deadlines. If you have any of these things where you kind of procrastinate, you can't concentrate, the Pomodoro technique is a great technique for you. What it does is it allows you to give yourself grace and take breaks. Okay. So what happens with Pomodoro technique, and everybody's different. So I implement this with a lot of my clients, but what I love about my job is you're all completely different, which I love. So some of my clients, they can only do 15-minute blocks and then they need a 5-minute break, right? That's how long their attention span is. It really, really works for them. So they'll do 15 and then they'll take 5. And take 5 could be going out for get a tea, sip a tea, take a little break or just walk away and move. Other of my clients want to do a 45-minute and then a 15 break. Some are 50 and some are 10. But the Pomodoro technique basically is you're giving yourself permission to take a break. And I fall into the trap of not taking breaks. I don't know if any of you are in the same boat, but I do that. And what I've done now is I set a little timer on my computer. Get up, Kathi. It's time to get up. Move your butt out of the seat and actually get up and walk around at least instead of just because I will tend to hyper focus, right? Being a little bit that way. So you need to give yourself an opportunity to take a break. And the Pomodoro technique is great. You see the little timer? That's a little timer. I have a lot of people that use the hex cube. And the hex cube is cool. I don't know. Has anybody used a hex cube or any type of timer in your life? It breaks your concentration, right? The bells and the beeper going off will break your concentration, show you that it's time to move into it. The hex cube is cool because you can toss it into 15 and then it'll break. Yeah, phone timers are great too, Courtney, for sure. But the hex cube's great if you don't your bladder. Yeah, your bladder's a good timer for sure. I love that. You're way too funny. But the hex cube, you can flip it, and you can flip it for 15, and then it'll beep, and then you can flip it around again for 20. You can choose how long you want to do your focus time, but you know, the main thing is just breaking your cycle and your concentration and getting you out of that doing it. A hex cube is kind of like the kitchen timer, except for it has various sides. Like one side could be 15, one side could be 30, one side could be 45. When you flip it, then it'll beep at the time that you that whatever you flipped it onto. So it allows, you know, be a little bit ADD. I like flexibility. I like the hex because it'll give me the choice. Do I want to break in 15 or 30 or 45 or what? So that's what a hex cube. It's a timer that's not a tomato, like the Pomodoro. You know, the actual, it's named after a tomato timer. So anyhow, yeah, that's what a hex cube is. So if you like variation on timing and you like the physicality of actually flipping and then having it beep, which I like, you know, I like tactile stuff, that works for me. A hex cube will work really, really well for you. I'm going to break into questions, because I know that there's going to be a lot of things that I'd love to know if you've worked or not worked, or if you've had questions about how to maybe streamline and get better. But I want to talk about timeout, right? We've been talking about this with Pomodoro. Sometimes you just need to unplug. Sometimes you just need to disconnect. And taking regular breaks from technology, especially the computer screen, right? And also, you know, taking time from your phone, or just getting out and getting sun will help you disconnect and recharge. I've been studying another technique that well, one of my OBGYN said 10 minutes arms and legs in the sun every single day. I've been reading another survey that says that if you go out and you spend 5 minutes in the sun at the top of your day, which could be when you're doing your prayer or your meditation or reading. I like to go outside on my deck. And if you spend 5 minutes in the sun before you start your day, and then go back out again and spend more time in the sun to break your day up, that's going to help you a lot. Just sun itself, but give yourself permission and give yourself grace to take time out in the middle of your day. Okay. Taking regular breaks from technology is going to really help you a lot. Be more focused when you come back around. You know, knowing how to leverage your time is to have maximum productivity with minimum effort. And ironically, taking time makes you more productive, right? You're always on your way to somewhere. So the question is, where are you going, and are you doing it intentionally, right? Where you are is shifting constantly, but you have to turn your attention to where you want to go. And if you're in reaction mode, you're not doing that. So it takes time to optimize your time. That's the ironic thing about it. It takes time to organize. It takes time to make time. You know, a lot of my clients will say, I don't have time to get organized, or I don't have time to take time. You know why they don't? Because he didn't take time to optimize what they were doing, right? And Abe is my favorite guy. You know, we already talked about preparation and planning, but, you know, I love him. He says 1 hour of preparation saves me 8 hours of perspiration. I can guarantee you that if you implement one of these 3 things that I've talked to you about, that you're going to have more time later. It just happens. So it takes time to make time, right? You have to stop, adjust, and plan in advance. So, you know, most of my clients ask for someone to help them stay accountable, and having an accountability partner is a really important thing. So if you're looking for people or someone to help you become accountable, or to figure out the best way that it's going to work for you, you can reach out to me at Organize and Energize and set up a chat. Any of you are welcome to go to Chat with Kathi and just ask me more questions afterwards. But right now I have a little download for you that I think our leaders will put in here. You can scan it. You know, there's so many aspects to what we can do to get organized. I've created 6 steps that I know will help you organize your life and your business and that type of thing. You can download the book. It's free to you. I usually sell it. Basically a guidebook and a roadmap to help you stop the chaos, right? To kind of give you ideas of what you're going to do first, second, third, because we're all human, right? We're not going to implement all this stuff. My goal always, as a board certified professional organizer, no matter what I do, my code of ethics is I have to transfer skills. So my dream for today and my goal for today is to transfer some kind of skill to you, something that you can walk away with, that you can implement, and that you can try. And if you try it and it doesn't work, try something else. But the whole idea is to take action and to start implementing something. Yes, you will absolutely. If you go to organize your life and you either scan the code or you put the code in from chat, which Arletta's gave us, it will be emailed to you. Absolutely, it's going to be emailed to you so that you can ingest it, read it, go back again, look at one of the tips I told you, maybe try that one. Maybe it didn't work, go into another tip, try that, right? We're all so different. That's what I love about doing what I do. We're all completely different. There's going to be some things that are perfect for you, some things that are not. That's why we're all human, and that's what makes the life go round, and that's what makes my job super interesting. If you want to drill down on specifically, what you need to do for your specific life, I can have a 30-minute chaos to clarity session. Kind of after I get to know what you're doing, I'll say, oh, you should do this, that, and the other, and we'll work on that. It's not a sales call. It's just something that could help you with. And that's Chat with Kathi. So now I'm going to open up to questions because I know we're running down to the wire. If any of you have any questions, just speak up. And you don't just unmute yourself and let's chat, or you can put it into chat as well, whatever works for you. Because I'm here. I am here and ready. Oh, maybe I'll know everything. That's fine. No worries. I know I've given you a lot to think about, right? So, thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. Anybody have anything that they need to know that's just burning on their consciousness that they have a question?
Well, I do.
Yeah.
Because up until now, I've been kind of schedule adverse. I I think it's the control and I like to have the freedom and flexibility and the fluidity to what does feel aligned at the time. So I do like the time blocking, like, okay, I have this time and then I have these options and then I can choose from those options what feels right in the moment. But do you have any other suggestions for those of us that like when you put the day and it had all the tasks in there like that, like ugh.
Yeah, absolutely. I am the same exact way. I am such a rebel, right? So here's the thing. If you know what you were going to do, you know what you didn't do. So I look at that all the time. And most of my clients are artistic creative women entrepreneurs. So just like me, right? So we hate doing the schedule thing. But if we plan it, we don't have to stick to it. But again, if we know what we didn't do, we know what we need to do. If you don't have any kind of a schedule and you're willy-nilly and you're just like freeforming it, which I did for years, then I don't know what I forgot. So I'm with you on that. Create your schedule, and then you only have permission to break your schedule once you've made your schedule. The most important thing is make it, then you can break it. Does that make sense?
Intentional rebel.
Yeah, be a rebel. But you can't be a rebel if you don't have a cause, right? If you don't know what you were supposed to do first, second, third, fourth, fifth, you didn't plan that all out, you're in trouble. But once you have it all planned out, feel free to freeform it, but you know what you didn't do, right? That's the most important thing. If you know what you were going to do, then you know what you didn't do because you were a rebel, and you know what you can come back to. You know what you have to come back to because you planned it.
Yes.
That's a
Thank you
great
so much.
question. And I've struggled against this. I'm such a rebel. It's like, that's why time blocking really works for me. Like I know on Monday, it's my organizing planning day. On Tuesday is my teaching day. On Wednesday and Thursday is my client day. I kind of have that kind of blocked that way, big way, right? So that helps me a lot kind of say, oh, no, I can't meet with you on Monday because it's my planning day, but how about Wednesday?
Right.
See what it does? It gives you really professional parameters to keep yourself in line. Because if you're women entrepreneurs, we're all the creatives. That's why we're an entrepreneur. So it's a great question, and I really appreciate that question because it led me to another great teaching point. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Kathi.
yeah, absolutely. Anybody else have a burning question? Go to chatwithkathi.com, Kathi, by the way, chatwithkathi.com. If you have a question that you don't really want to verbalize here in the session. Anybody else?
All
Okay, well,
right.
yeah, I don't want to take anybody else's time. I know we have more speakers coming up, or maybe we're going into a break and you probably all need one. So I really, really appreciate your time and your energy. And I love you ladies for putting on this summit. You know, I think soul's purpose is so important, and that's why we're all in business. So I applaud you for having a Align with Your Soul's Purpose summit. We all need it.
Thank you for being here, Kathi. We really appreciate you. Oh, such good stuff for us. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's the stuff I don't want to do, but I know I really need it. So thank you. It's part of having a business.
That's the stuff that gets things, you know, that's the big stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Love it. Thank you so much.